to introduce myself. Stoner Story Witch. Hello and welcome to the Stoner Story Witch. My name is Kristyn and I am grateful to be hosting this podcast on the lands of the Chorotega people, colonially known as Costa Rica. So the process has been lately for our writers group that, we meet once a week and we chat about our stuff. We press record to just kind of get some of the antsiness of what it is to press record out of the way. The majority of our conversations are not intended for the public. I will not be at this time sharing any samples of the writing that we are doing, but just kind of more some of the conversations that we're having kind of about the writing process itself. Another thing that I will be including in these episodes, I believe, is anytime each other's work or some part of the process is reminding us of a story or a scripture or a TV show or whatever it is, that I'm including those in here as just kind of part of, Sophie Strand calls it the compost heap, right? It's all in the mix. It's all in the field. It's, Gina Cadlick even mentioned in the podcast, stories really are just a collective conversation. Dana Lynn Nichols would call it, liberation is collective imagination. And so in a lot of ways, there really are no new stories, and that is okay. And it just means that we all get to be in conversation with each other. And so it feels nice to honor the stories that have mentored us to this point where we are then, trying to bring different stories to life. I just want to reiterate that these writers group episodes that I'm doing in my, what I'm calling season 5, but as they're sprinkled out in the coming months, I'm offering them really as little diary entries into the process of creating something. And so if you've listened to other episodes where, I might be coming at it with, very specific questions, very specific, an intention of what it is that I'm going to be talking about in an outline. This is not that. This literally is, the process of this is I am just listening to old conversations that I had and revisiting those moments, reflecting on them, and then just offering them out as like a little journal entry, like a little diary. So if that sounds interesting to you, oh my gosh. Hello. If you have thoughts or responses, please, by all means, shoot me an email at stonerstorywitch@gmail.com or comment on the post on the Substack where you found this episode. But yeah, it's the idea of just having a personal conversation and offering it out to the collective. And, maybe not everybody has people that they can necessarily meet with, but maybe your mirror neurons can get activated by the idea that okay, there are people doing this work. And so I am I am just in it, and this episode and episodes like these are just demonstrating the in itness of trying to bring a creative work to life.
Said that because I was I could do a better job of letting you know that a podcast has come out. We just released our 5th one
of us.
Yeah.
Cool. I've not been counting. Oh my God, that is so cool.
And I've done a pretty shitty job of letting you know when they come, because it's so staggered. It's literally.
Oh, that doesn't bother me. It's
conversations
finding out
we had back in September still. Yeah, and then and they come out on. I've typically been releasing them on the new moon, and we're not. This just happened to be it was just 2 days ago, and I was oh, I'm going to be reminding you, or just checking in. We're meeting on Tuesday, and I was oh, I literally just sent this. So I was like, oh, that'd be kind of fun to just forward you the Substack thing because
No, I
I
like that.
I subscribe to my own Substack so that I can see what subscribers see, and often I think I sent it, but I didn't click the
Oh.
final click. And so I think anyway, I don't know why I'm telling you all this. It doesn't really matter, but that is,
Well, it's an interesting examination of how to get voices out today with all these different things like that.
yeah. Well, what I'm finding is nice is like what I like about just the once a month, just doing our writers group is I don't really, I kind of just have like I've been phoning it in and it's just like the same blurb at the beginning of the thing and the same blurb at the end of the thing. So I'm not even like recording my own voice for those podcasts at all.
Oh, fun.
Like normally I'd be like, so upon editing this, I have these reflections and blah, 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 blah. But it's like, oh, that's just like too much work. I don't want to even have to do that.
Yeah.
But because I do it in the Substack, I can add a little more commentary and just
Yes.
like let that, yeah. So like the discernment of, like what actually needs to be recorded and put in the podcast form versus just, it's like, well, I'll just put it in the Substack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Substack. It's fun.
Yeah, it really is. I do like
I
Sub.
made one a while ago and then I just didn't do much.
I should say it's good for hobby writers. Like they're making it
Mm.
harder for people who like their bread and butter. They like the algorithms have made it harder for
Oh
people to
yeah.
like put their stuff out there, and it's that the constant like you have got to put out more content in more
Yeah.
of the ways like so yeah, and I think they're probably taking I think they might have just said they're taking a bigger cut of like the subscriptions
The
and stuff. So
pledges.
it's like I'll put a big caveat that like
Yeah.
I know a lot of writers that have shifted from the platform because it's not been great for them,
Mm.
but it's perfectly fine for me right now
Yes.
for my purposes. So yeah.
Oy.
Okay. Is he younger
Oh,
brother or
yeah, I'm the
okay.
oldest.
How many siblings do you have?
We are four brothers,
Four brothers.
which
And
is
you're
what
the
they
only
say in Pakistan. And you don't ask how many siblings you are, you ask how many siblings are you?
How many siblings are you?
Yeah, we're four. And I thought that's so cool. That changes things. Instead of having, because
Yeah.
possessiveness is something that's so interesting to me, especially in writing, right?
Uh-huh.
I
Okay.
have a son. Now, for some people, that means I possess it. For some
Right.
people, that is defining a relationship.
Right.
Uh, right. But in Urdu, you wouldn't say I have a son. You would say my son is, or
Nice.
my three sons are.
And you would like just like say their names or
No, no, that would be the end of the sentence. How many kids do you have?
uh, and I would
So
say
instead of
my
saying
kids are two, meaning I have
no,
two
so
kids
I
or like
guess instead of having a word like have, like a possessive word,
uh-huh.
you don't need that. So
Okay.
there's no confusion over
Have
ownership or
ownership.
relationship,
God, I love that.
which I find that fun.
Yes.
Now, one of
Yeah.
your actual Urdu speaking listeners might be like, actually, Matt, you're completely wrong here. But I but
Of my
but I
many
took
Urdu,
some
so many of them. Yeah.
but that's my
Maybe.
understanding.
Okay.
I don't
That
know, I thought that was cool.
yeah, and like and
Segue
learning
back into
about like
writing.
different like indigenous languages, where it's like there is no like possessive pronouns. Like there isn't like the
Mm,
concept of owning is just like absent from the language completely.
that's
That is just like, well, if you don't
interesting.
like, like just how your worldview is shaped by the words that you have too. So that's like where I'm thinking of that as well. Like just how does that change your relationship with the
Everything.
children in one's life
The
if
children in one's life.
if you're not able to yeah like declare that sense of ownership I yeah
My
I
two
can
kids. Well, we can't avoid the my. Even in Urdu, the my is there.
Okay, Maya's still there.
Yeah, my is still there. Because we still got to relate them to us.
Okay. Interesting.
Isn't that funny?
I like that. That's sort of ish kind of related to the like just the world of the fan like the fanfic world that I am in of just the one of the themes being like the I
How
know
the
we talked
story's
about this
told.
like how stories are told and the translating of the stories into the like the language of the colonizer kind of thing is obviously going to change there.
There's a word that the whatever the oppressor group in your book uses to describe the folks who live in the Badlands, which stuck out to me a few times and I cannot remember it. It's some sort of a derogatory, a general derogatory term, but I recall that it was
Like
repeated a few times.
venom.
Yeah, yeah, when referring
Venom.
to them, like the something akin to. Okay, so that's what I was thinking. Okay, because venom sounds so similar to vermin,
Vermin, I know. I
right?
know.
And that's on
Yes.
purpose.
Right, don't
And
you think?
so, oh, gotta be, right?
Yeah.
And then so that's an interesting place of what do you want to call it? Not conflict, but it's an interesting place of that narrative strategy
Right.
of just simply using a word and now they're bad guys. There's no way, even if no one had ever heard the book, you hear the venom are coming.
Venom, and you're just like, "Ugh,
It's not
doesn't
going to be
sound
good.
good." Yeah,
It's
right.
bad.
Yeah. I think I have them sort of referring to themselves as edgewalkers and fugitives.
Cool.
Fugitive is a word that I've really come to be in relationship with from Bayo Akumalafe. Are you familiar with him? He's like a
Mhm.
poet. Um, yeah, just I'm afraid I still don't like understand like even 10% of what he is saying when he is talking or writing or whatever. But
Mm.
like my relation, like just I think it's a little bit of like, being that evangelical, being in this world, but not of it kind of thing.
Exactly what I was thinking. I like that. Yeah, yeah.
And so but with, like the cause of, or, in the purpose of, or whatever, like a liberation and
Yes.
freedom from oppression, which, right, would be liberation. But, so I think of, that there are maybe like, because in my mind it's like, okay, I know that the colonizers think of the venom as this, but how do they view themselves in the context of
Hmm.
everything, and what are like the different maybe levels of it? And so I think that, there's like fugitives that actually like, maybe live in the feral lands all the time, that they're just, like they don't really even take part in the capital and or like the main continent or whatever. But then there's also people that have that consciousness, that have had
Oh.
initiation into what that world is, and they choose to kind of go back and live in it, and
So like there's two levels of these fugitives. There's the
yeah, and
ones that
not levels like hierarchy, but like
no, but like an
one is you're like kind of
understanding.
tending the fire of this world, and the other one is like, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna try to, because I keep thinking that, like the collapse that needs to happen of, because I'm hoping the goal is that we are collapsing the wards
Oh yeah.
and the, like empire from within. And so there are some people who are like, okay, there are allies, like we can convert people that haven't seen what there is to see, that don't know what there is to know. There's a way to get in there. I think of Birdbox. I don't know if you ever saw that movie with Sandra Bullock. And
I saw most of it.
I,
I
I
saw
think
half of it.
I think of that movie way too much for as little as I actually like enjoyed the movie. Like there's just
Hmm.
something about like you need to see this thing, and that some people upon seeing it just like off themselves, and other
Yeah.
people can see it and are like, everybody
Yeah.
needs to see this. Like they can survive it and like need everybody to know. And I don't know. I sometimes feel like I might be that second group of people that's
It's
like,
interesting.
anyway. And so I feel it's some element of that.
Right?
And
She's thought this through. I need to take this emotion and I need to put it over there. So that
mhm.
probably makes her very effective, but I guarantee her blood pressure is not thanking her.
Well, right. And she also has this, like they don't say Ellerstone in the book, but she also has, so yes, one wonders what she's also, how she's
Hmm.
maybe contributing to some of her pain. Um, the other thing that's interesting is there actually is a box that Xaden gets gifted in the third book that's like made of glass, and they don't really say much. I know it's going to be more important in the fourth and fifth books that the actual author is writing, but I've been thinking like, how might I play around with that too? Um,
Ah.
anyway, I awaken in the morning. So yeah, every day that she's in the Barrens is like, she like kind of wakes up and like the landscape has like drastically changed kind of thing.
Hmm.
So I awaken in the morning and see the frost glistening on branches, tree branches. The magic of this place continues to amaze and confuse me. I feel like ever since I drank that potion from Xaden, I have completely lost all sense of time. The fact that I cannot even decisively say when it was that I drank it only exacerbates this disorientation. I may
Hmm.
not understand this magic, and I cannot be mad at it, but no part of me is fearful. Wherever I
Huh.
am, it just is. Am I living hundreds of years and it just feels like days? The question floats to my brain out of habit more than an actual desire to try to understand it. Why do I need to understand what my body is feeling as a rightness? I'm finally feeling. I've always shoved my feelings into little boxes for later. I've always been too busy to feel. My now always took priority and piled those boxes for another time. And here I am in a whole other time, feeling a timelessness that some other version of me, whenever she was, is, or will be, probably would confuse for boredom. To me,
Ha.
it is just content nothingness. Joy, perhaps? Before too long, a bubble of hunger alerts me to the needs of my body. The reality that amidst contentment and joy, I can still feel hunger. I unroll from my sleep sack, and my joints remind me that I can still feel pain. My old familiar friend. I'm never alone with her in my bones and tissues. Somehow that thought makes me chuckle. As magical as this place is, with whatever power is radiating deep from within the earth, she will never leave me. Just as the rock is hard and the creek is wet, I will never not feel pain. It just is. And yet, as I reflect on it, I am not suffering. I don't have to try to fly on a dragon, saddle or no. I don't need to be wrapping my joints for battle, never letting them rest. I haven't been strength training to exhaustion for weeks now. It is as if my body is finally getting the rest I've been putting off giving it, much like those boxes.
I love how whenever she has a long rumination, it's always worth something interesting. Right? There's
Oh.
always something that comes out. And you do it at least twice here. Because we're talking about timelessness, and some other version of me would just confuse for boredom. Uh, but the really cool one is her rumination on pain and how it's not the same as suffering.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. That is so good because it's hard to have this length of introspective prose and to have it come to such a sharp point that gives us a very clear understanding of her character that we otherwise wouldn't have. She understands pain. It's not suffering. She's not even trying to get away from it, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's there.
Yeah.
Behold, I had a nice rest. Ouch, time to get up.
Yeah.
So, oh, wow, she's deep. You know, and even for readers there's a gospel in there, right? Because pain
Yeah.
and suffering are not the same thing.
Right.
They can be.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
But that's fun.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was just reading.
It's rare to find introspective fantasies, I think. I
Yes.
mean, the setting and the fantastical elements lead to that sort of like big overarching, but generally it's just like the hero who has to do violence better than the bad guy uh, over a long period of time. Um,
Yes.
but this sort of
Hmm.
a juggling with the complex character in their head for the most part.
Right. Like this book could actually be canon. Like um or
Yep.
or yeah, or be like, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we actually get there, but yeah.
Well, you're certainly still well on your way. Like you're not hitting any roadblocks as far as I can see.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just so funny because I have so there's always ideas of, ooh, and then this character I could write a scene of her with da da da, and it's like, yeah, there's just also being like, okay, there's so many coulds. What do I actually have
Yeah.
time for? Or like, and like, I can release what I have, and if those other things still sound exciting, then it can kind of, like what did Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, like he killed off Sherlock Holmes, and then people were
Yeah,
all
they need to bring him
super
back.
pissed, and then he was like, okay, I'll just say like, like
Actually, he
these are the hidden
survived.
these are other tales of Sherlock Holmes that would just previously unearthed. So it's like, there's still the possibility of that other stuff, but I think it's yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
That's why I save all my stuff. If I looked at the biggest version of the Prayer Warriors that I ever had was probably almost double what it
yeah,
ended up being. There's a lot of interesting stuff that not for this book, maybe for something, maybe not, who knows?
yeah. Well, and just like, yeah, I think I'm also like just the level of organization. I was telling a friend of mine that also kind of wants to write a book, and it's also kind of cool
Hmm.
because once you start talking to people that like, oh, I'm like working on writing a book, then like they kind of share their like little like, actually I also have a little bit of a book that I have to say,
Yeah, it's
and
so
then it's like, oh my
true.
God, like yeah, like let's hear it. Or and shoot, where was I going with that? Oh, and and she was just like, oh, it sucks because my best thoughts always come to me right as I'm like, like at bedtime, and that's not when I want to be
Hmm.
breaking out my computer and writing, and I'm just like, but it's cool to just know like that's when your brain is active, or it's like, what about bedtime? Like get curious about what your process is. Like I have written at
Hmm.
night, I have written at like 5 in the morning, like I think what I'm telling myself is like the biggest thing that I'm actually creating with this book is figuring out my process of how to write because I've never written something like this before.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
so the way in which I can actually just like I threw out my back real bad. I shouldn't even say I threw it out. My back has been messed up for a couple months and it's still kind of stiff. It's still not great, but I'm at least not able to, like, at least I can walk without limping. And I
Hmm.
wonder if it was like I was hunched over and like maybe not,
Oh,
like, or just the way
interesting.
that maybe contributed to if
Right.
I like, so it's like, okay, I need to move my body more frequently, even though it's can be, once I get into it, I can like 3 hours can go by before
Hmm.
but then I also, so I don't know, like kind of purposefully being like, I'm going to sit down for 20 minutes and I'm going to get up after 40 no matter what. Even
Yeah.
if.
Yeah.
And anyway, so all of those types of like things that
And
really,
experimenting with constraints to find out what is the thing that works for you.
yeah. And like, and for me, it's like, I am just like, I'm such a parallel thinker. Like I can kind of be doing like 17 things at once, but never really very good, like kind of
I
half-ass
feel that.
17 things at once. And so it's like, okay, like that's, and like maybe that's okay, but maybe I also do need to, you know, kind of like when I started making sourdough because it felt really scary right around the time I started wanting to do a podcast, and that felt scary. It's like, if I can figure out how
Hmm.
to do sourdough, then I can figure out how to do a podcast. I'm really good at sourdough now. And it's like right now I maybe need to like organize my medicine drawer. And then once I can organize my medicine drawer, then I can be like, oh, if I can organize my medicine drawer, then I
I
can
can
figure
finish
out
this
the
book.
sequence for my book, like,
Yeah.
so I don't know. There's something there. I'm feeling a little bit of a wall as I was reading this morning and reading a little bit of what I just read to you and just being like, oh God, like there's still stuff I need to write and still things that I'm not exactly sure. Do I put that up here? Do I have it down there? And it's like, okay, if I don't know now, then it will come to me later.
Yes, it will definitely come later. It has no choice. It has to come either
It
sooner
has
or
to come
later.
out sometime. Yeah. And so
Yeah.
it's kind of like, as long as there's a couple, like you said, it's like progress is happening. Whether it was the progress we identified last week, I don't know. But it did feel good having a goal. So I will say
Yeah.
my goal again is to finish reading what I have already written, slash and or, just keep chugging away at whatever kind of editing things. But the 20-minute chunk, no more than 40 minutes per session. Would love to get it to a point where I'm doing multiple hours a day, but I need to not.
Mm.
I need my body to not be in pain.
We need our bodies. Yeah.
I mean,
We are our bodies.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I need my body to still be able to bake my bread. That's really
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. I
Uh-huh.
was in my first creative writing course
Oh,
and we had to write a sonnet. So I wrote a sonnet about stem cells in a bag.
oh
Uh,
yeah, as one does.
and as one does.
Yeah.
And there's this meme that my brother and I have always loved. It's from Family Guy, where somebody's interviewing this character named Ride the 10-speed everywhere guy. It's this guy on a bicycle, pouring rain, and he's being interviewed. So why do you do this? Oh, well, it's some, and it's a great way to stay in shape. And he keeps on answering his questions with, and it's a great way to stay in shape. And then even the bike rider's like, oh, yes, I have this fast-acting cancer. It's going to, slowly and painfully kill me. And it's a great way to stay in shape. And that became our our favorite meme. So a guzzle, shit. I don't want to make you cry. No, wait, I shouldn't have told the story.
No, no, no,
You good?
no.
Okay.
I'm good. I just like the idea that cancer is a great way to stay in shape.
It's
Just
a
like
great way to stay in
that's
shape.
that's Family Guy for you. Yeah.
That's Family Guy for you. And so I'm interested in guzzles. It's a poetry
Okay.
form out of, Farsi and Urdu. So it's famous in
Oh,
Pakistan.
okay.
And the constraint, sorry about that, the constraint with it is at the end of every, so it's couplets. So two lines, and then two
Uh-huh.
lines, and then two lines. In the first couplet, there's a little phrase at the end.
Hmm.
And it has to be repeated on the second couplet of every single couplet from then on. So, so I thought I should write a ghazal where the phrase is, "It's a great way to stay in shape."
Oh,
I don't know.
I
So
mean
yeah,
that's
that
kind
might be
of
a
what it
writing goal.
is. What that Family Guy episode is.
Yeah.
Okay, so like that poem is yeah, just a
So
fun.
I have a goal that might work on that poem because
Okay.
I haven't written poetry for the longest time, and I thought, hey, this could be a
Writing
great way to stay in
poetry.
shape.
I was gonna say writing poetry is a great way to stay in
Great
shape.
way to stay in shape. I love
Okay,
it.
well, I'm excited to hear
See
it,
how.
you know, next week at the earliest, or just at some point,
If
whenever,
it ever comes to
if it
life.
ever comes to
Yeah.
life. But I like that. I like that goal, that dream. All right. Well, until next time.
Until next time, happy creatives.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Thank you, Matt, for continuing to meet with me and trudge along in this. Thank you to everyone in my life that has, even if just energetically, has been offering me witnessing and support and companionship in this process. I am still months and months and months away from it being finished, and it just feels meaningful and possible to be continuing on this journey in the midst of these tumultuous times. Just knowing that there are people in the world that are collectively imagining with me and companioning me. So thank you. As always, feel free to comment on the Substack post where you found this, or reach out to me at stonerstorywitch@gmail.com. It is my hope that every creator out there who wants and needs companionship on that journey to Oz, or to return the ring to Mordor, wherever it is, whatever your story is of your life, it is my hope that you are well companioned and well resourced for that liberatory journey. Thank you to John Williams and Anais Mitchell for the inspiration for the theme song of the Stoner Story Witch podcast, as well as Matt Shuby and Kevin Carlo for their creative juices for the cover art and the sound editing and production. And with that, I will leave you with my quote from Rev. Angel Kyoto Williams that says, "Love and justice are not two. Without inner change, there can be no outer change. And without collective change, no change matters." Take good care, everyone.